What's up, gang? Welcome back to the Grindcast. Simon here. Let's dig into it. The cost of bad habits is in the future, and the cost of good habits is now. Okay, understand what I'm saying? So think about this. The bad habits that people have, you eat bad. Okay, you eat like crap. That may not affect you today, but it may affect your health and physical appearance 5 years from today, 10 years from today, 20 years from today. You may not want to work out and exercise or do what you need to do to be on the team right now in sports as a young person. Right now it's fun. You could do all that and have more fun Friday. Like I know people that did not, when I came into high school to play high school football, somebody forced me to play. I didn't want to play. My grandfather forced me to play. The reason why I didn't want to play is I didn't want to give up my summer. And so short-term bad habits, I was already into things I shouldn't have been doing in 8th grade. So I was already doing grown men things. Okay, go ahead and use your imagination. And so coming into the summer, I'm thinking, I don't want to give all this up. And so what it is, I had bad habits. And those bad habits cost me nothing but my future. Up front, man, it was fun. Like those people had more fun than me all summer. I play ball, I'm sweating. I'm in 90, 100 degree weather with shoulders pads and helmet on and all this stuff. But fast forward 4 years, the good habits that I had paid off in the form of a captain, state championship, scholarship. And the people that didn't do that, their bad habits paid off for them in the future. And so you got to understand that the things that you want to do in this world is going to cost you the things that you want to do right now. Do you hear what? Like the things you want to do in this world is going to cost you some of the things that you want to do right now. Like if we don't kick these bad habits, what are your bad habits? We all got them. I got some. Like what are your bad habits? First is be aware. I can't tell you how many people are just walking around like zombies. They're not even looking at themselves. They're not even looking and say, what am I doing? What do I need to improve? Why do I act the way I act? Why do I think? You need to have self-awareness. And so if you have self-awareness, you're looking and saying, all right, what habits do I have? What habits do I have that are making things fun right now, but are going to cost me in the future because the cost of bad habits is in the future. That's why people like to run up credit cards and there's so much debt and problems in the country financially, because bad habits of people spending and things, they could just swipe or take a loan out or whatever and fund these bad habits, and it costs them in the future. Now, the opposite. The cost of good habits sucks right now. So you hear the story of people going to college and they work and they pay their own student debt off and they have no debt coming out. Well, that sucks for them right now, but it pays off for them down the road. See, the cost of the good habits is now. You just get to pay right now. So listen, you either pay the price right now and get the return down the road, or you don't pay the, like there was a quote that says either sacrifice for what you want or what you want will become the sacrifice. What is it that you're doing right now that you need to change? What habits are losing habits right now that are going to cost you 10 years from today, 20 years from today? In order to go up, you need to give up some of these habits. Are you living your life based on commitment and what you want? Or are you living your life based on how you feel? Like, if you live a life only based on what you feel, you're never going to be able to achieve greatness, because everything that's going to give you greatness is going to cause you discomfort. And everything that causes you discomfort causes you the idea of not feeling like doing it. So you need to make a decision to stop saying, I don't feel like it. I mean, that's one of the top things I try to pound into my daughter's head right now. That's 16. I don't care. I don't want to hear. I don't feel like it. I don't feel like working out. I don't feel like doing this. I don't feel like doing all kinds of stuff. You can't just go with your feelings and emotions and think you're going to get what winners get. You know how many times you got to practice as a professional, you don't feel like practicing? You know how many times them coaches got to show up in the practice, in the office when they don't feel like being there? You know how many times? You have to be able to have personal life problems going on, issues in your life going on, all these things that cause you to have feelings that are not positive and still rise to the occasion. You have to rise up, step up, mature up, level up. And the people that do those things, they don't operate their life based on what they want right now. They don't operate their life based on how they feel. They operate their life based on what has to happen in order to get me closer to my goals, whatever those goals are. Because at the end of the day, it's discipline. Best quote I could think of for this is that, listen, we don't rise to our goals, but you settle with your discipline. Like, you settle on what your discipline level is. We don't rise to what our goals are. Like, people that are winning and losing, both of them have the same goals. You know how many people I hear talk about starting a nonprofit and they don't? It's the work. It's the feelings. It's the discipline. You know how many people talk about, oh man, I'm going to get in shape. Next year's my year. Next year I'm going to be yoked up. Next year comes around, you ain't yoked up. Discipline. Because you're settling back to your discipline. You're getting all excited and emotional right now and then whoop, back down to that level of discipline. Let's get our discipline right. You know, when we get on the topic of discipline right and short-term, long-term stuff like that, I want you to ask yourself this question. How much time and money are you spending on self-development? Like, are you putting more work into your car than you're putting into yourself? Are you putting more money and time into fixing your kitchen than you're putting into yourself? Anything that you're putting your time and money towards is going to grow. And so, what have you spent money on that's going to help you become a better person? Have you spent more money on blunts than you've spent on growing yourself as a person? Keeping it real with you. Are you spending more money on Netflix or movies than you've spent on books? Audio, like these podcasts are free. So it just costs you time. Are you spending more time on Instagram, Facebook, social media than you're spending on books, audio books, and podcasts? Investing into yourself. So ask yourself, you only got one life. You only got one body. If you ain't going to invest into you, who's going to invest into you? This is why the banks ask for a down payment. They want to know you got some time and money into you. Like, you want $1 million, you better bring me 20%, 200,000. Like, you want somebody else to invest into you and you're not willing to invest into you. How much money, yeah, you don't like to hear that word, huh? Money, yep, invest into it. Like, how much money have you spent on getting yourself together? Be it physical, proactively from a gym or something you could get for yourself. Like, people think, oh man, Simon spent $2,000 on this machine for his body or for his legs or whatever. I'm like, that's $150 a month. Like, I know people blowing that at the bar in a week in a month for my body. Like, God only gave me one of these. What better investment can I make than into my only body that I'll ever have in my life? Like, that's an investment. Like upgrading your house. And how much time have you spent on upgrading yourself? Not just the books and all that other, like, do you see it as an investment when you're asking questions? Like, the reason why I drive far away to meet with a mentor of mine is I'm willing to drive and eat up 5 hours of my time because I'm willing to spend 5 hours in the gym, but not 5 hours to meet Jim Tressel. That don't make any sense. So I put 5 hours into the gym, but I wouldn't put 5 hours to meet Jim. Like, I'm going to drive wherever I got to go, not to D-ride, not to gain wisdom. That's why you hear people, like some of these conferences and things that you could go to. Yeah, some of them are a scam. Some of them are a ripoff. But like if you had to spend $500 on a conference, and so you know I ain't running one. This ain't me selling it. If you have to spend $500 on a conference, to get the best wisdom and knowledge and everything to come back with, and it's a three-day conference, typically whatever you learned, you should be able to apply that next year and more than double your money. Like you'll make one more sale, you'll make one more something, you'll grow a little bit more, you'll do this a little bit more. Like we just did a marriage conference and whatever, it was not cheap. But I'm thinking like I'll spend more money in problem solving a marriage issue than upfront investing into that thing. And so people look at what they're spending and they don't see it as an investment. What are you pouring into yourself? Like people will, I'll go and I'll see people sitting on rims bigger than me. They got 30-inch rims, 40-inch rims, sound system, all this stuff. But ask them to go ahead and attend a conference that's going to make them better in business and they won't spend $500 on it. They'll buy an ounce of weed, but they won't they won't spend $100 on a ticket to donate and go see something and support somebody for a youth program. Like people, and I've been there. I'm not saying this from a high position, a high horse. Like I don't think I'm perfect. I'm giving you what I've learned walking from welfare to becoming a millionaire. And then in part of this process of doing more than what you're paid to do is you're going to have to be able to take on some heat. Like you ever stand up under the sun? You ever stand up under a light and all of a sudden you're sweating and you get hot? Like you can't want the light and not be able to take the heat. I have people, oh, I'm so stressed out. Didn't you ask for $250,000? Didn't you want to make $500,000? Didn't you want to run the youth program? Didn't you want 4 kids? Didn't you want this house? So you want all these things, but you don't want none of the heat. You just want the light. Well, it don't work that way. If you want the light, you got to take the heat. If you can't take the heat, get your ass out the kitchen. That ain't the first time. You didn't just hear that from me on the Grindcast, did you, right? I remember Coolio, I think, back in the day. Can't take the heat, get your ass out the kitchen. We on a mission. You can't steal first, or you can't steal second with your foot on first. You can't steal third with your foot on second. Like if you want to get home, you need to get your foot off the damn basis. I watch so many people not wanting to do, because it's the whole thing of they don't want to do more than what they're paid to do. It's like, well, I'm making over here. And you can't upgrade. For everything in life to go up, you have to give up. You want to go up in marriage, give up something. Give up your ego. Give up this. Give up that. You want to go up in money, give up some money. You want to go up in this area, give up your time. You can't go up in your life. You're sitting there and waiting on things to be easy with no risk. You can't win that way. You can't make it home that way. You can't run the bases that way. Get your ass a little bit of a lead off first base, and when the pitcher throws that ball, slide. Run. It's easier for a person to be mentally fired up when they're winning than it is when they're down. But leaders are able to elevate their game and elevate others when they're down in order to be able to win. That's the whole thermometer and thermostat situation. Like, you guys ever see people that when things are going right, they're pounding on their chest bumping, they're in the game, they're all fired up, they're talking shit, and then as soon as they're losing, they're quiet? It's the people, it's the leaders that can lead you out of the mud. It's the person that's hit rock bottom. It's the person that's been through all kind of stuff and they're not a highlight of their life that still walks with confidence and can elevate. Like, if you want to really take yourself and others to the top, you got to be able to lead when you're not winning. You got to be able to be like Tom Brady, the whole team down 28-3, and you bring your team back when you're down. And so I'll leave you with this, and I guess it goes hand in hand with doing, getting more than what you're paid to do and all of that stuff. But, I guess this is a whole separate topic on its own. But save your money. Like, just save money. You need to be saving more than you're spending. There's nothing wrong with nice things. I love nice things. I got all types of cool stuff. But what people don't see is me living with roommates my first couple years in business when I was making money just to stack dough. They don't see me living in an apartment with low rent in a decent area with my wife for years to stack money before I built a house. They just see the house built. They don't know I drove a used car that was 10 years old when I was already a millionaire. They just see the Bentley, Range Rover, Maserati, Escalade, Benz. That's all they see. And so I want to tell you that you can have all these things as long as you don't let the money make you. Like, man makes the money, money don't make you. Money don't change. Like, I was in the Victories last month in Youngstown, which is where people from Youngstown don't even want to go. And I pulled up in a Range Rover to pick up a kid. Save your money. Stack your dough. Don't be stupid. Set a budget for yourself. Make sure that you're setting money aside because you need to, I think I've seen Gary Vee say this, you need to go on defense before you can go on offense. Defense is keeping the money, keeping your expenses low, humbling yourself. Don't try to keep up with the Jones. Just stack your dough. Stack your money. So where are you at in your life? And it goes back to discipline. It goes back to that doing more than what you're paid to do. It's short-term decisions that's going to give you the long-term life that you want. And so as I close out today's podcast and message, two things I want to close out with. Number one, if there's any ideas that you have that you want me to speak on or talk about, DM us, DM me, or comment on the podcast. What do you want to hear about? What are some topics that you would like for me to cover that you think would bring value to yourself and others? And the second thing is I just ask that you start to look at life differently and don't look at just what you're going to get today, and be willing to invest into today to have a better tomorrow. And if this has helped you in any way, shape, or form, please share this with other people. I'm sharing people that have podcasts. I'm sharing their stuff with people even though I have a podcast. People that do motivation, I'm sharing their stuff even though I'm doing motivation. Like, I don't have this scarcity mentality of if this person does good, it means there's not a lot out there for me. There's so much out there in this world. It doesn't make you disloyal to turn somebody else onto something, or me to turn somebody else onto something. So if you know that we're adding value and I'm trying to create that value of what I'm talking about, where I'm doing more for others. Like, I'm not getting paid for this. I ain't making any money on this stuff. Just time and money invested into helping people, and whatever comes from that, I'm cool with. The only thing I ask for payment is, can you take a couple moments out of your day and share it with people so we can change their life? So please share this stuff. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook as well. Simon Arias on Facebook, and you should be able to just put in Simon Arias. You'll see me with the grind hat on Instagram as well. But thanks for joining us on another episode of the Grindcast. Get ready, it's a new day.